What's up, everybody? It's Gomlet, and welcome back to one final Omniscience draft here before the format leaves. The format is leaving Arena in about 24 hours, it looks like, so this will probably be my last time that I'm able to do a little recording session here. So, our first pack is not very good. There are multiple, I would say, relatively equal choices. They're just not great, but not terrible. Icy Manipulator could actually be alright in this format. I guess it's not that great. It's basically like one of your indestructible blockers, but slightly better, because you just get to tap down their biggest creature every turn. The only problem with this is if you have other stuff competing for your 5 mana per turn, it would be pretty awkward to have to use your emblem to get the 5 mana to tap down their creature before their combat step, and then still have to pay for one of your creatures to become indestructible and become tapped after it blocks, like the Drudge Sentinel, because then you would only be able to use one of those effects, because when you get the 5 mana, it's all or nothing. Unfortunately, you can't whittle it out slowly throughout the turn. There's a Sarah Angel, which is the best creature if we just want to take a big creature to drop out after drawing a bunch of cards. There's a Haphazard Bombardment, which is interesting. I think it's definitely going to be good in the games where you end up in a board stall, but in any other game it's pretty much useless. And a lot of the games do end up in... I feel like it's kind of like a 50-50 split between ending up in a board stall or ending up with somebody just destroying the other person immediately. So, this card's probably good half the time. And then there's a Blink of an Eye, which a Blink of an Eye will always be alright, at the very least. So I think I'm actually just going to take Blink of an Eye here. I don't know if that's the right choice, but it says draw a card on it, so, like, it's really hard to go wrong with that. Here I'm going to go ahead and take a Flame of Keld, because it allows me to draw 2 cards. It does do it slower than most cards, so that is slightly a problem. This pack isn't very good. We can take the removal spell. We can take the Skizzik just as probably like the best base value creature. It's actually between Skizzik and Baloth Gorger for that. Or we can just take a Guardians of Koilos just in case we get multiples. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a Guardians, because I do like doing stupid combo things. So Keldon Overseer can be pretty good. Just because everybody's creatures are so massive, stealing one of them and hitting them with it can be a pretty big game. Befuddle's good because it lets you draw a card and keep chaining through stuff. Divest can be good on the play, but I wouldn't say that it's that great. I would definitely try not to run Divest, so this is a card that I might end up picking up like with 3 cards left in the pack and trying out. I think I'm going to just take a Befuddle. We're just going to keep taking the cards that draw stuff, even if we're only drawing like 1 card. So Get-To Chronicler can be really good. If you get Weight of Memory or Dark Bargain, any of the cards that let you draw a lot of stuff, Get-To Chronicler is great. With the cards that we currently have, Get-To Chronicler is not that good. It could potentially go infinite with Blink of an Eye, but the problem is we actually have to pay for kicker costs, so it cannot. But if we didn't have to pay for kicker costs, then we could play Get-To Chronicler to get back Blink of an Eye, play Blink of an Eye to bounce Chronicler and draw a card, then play Get-To Chronicler to get back Blink of an Eye. Unfortunately, that is not how it works, or else that would be really sweet, but I do think I'm still going to take Get-To Chronicler. It is worth mentioning the board, the Weatherlight in that pack, that tends to be pretty good. Usually, a lot of your best cards end up being historic stuff, be they Guardians of Koilos or Garnas or just gigantic stuff like Muldrotha. So here we could take a Windgrace Acolyte, a Diligent Excavator, another pack that's not super exciting. We could take Adventurous Impulse just for the card draw. I'm going to take Diligent Excavator because I'm kind of an idiot. And I would like to pick up more Guardians of Koilos, or if I end up picking up more Guardians of Koilos, I would at least like to have one thing that can kill them with it. I'll go ahead and take a Weight of Memory here. Skin Witch can be pretty good, but It's just really hard not to take Weight of Memory. I mean, Draw 3 is so powerful in this format. And we'll take the Counterspell here. Counterspell is obviously basically the only thing you can do to avoid dying on turn 1 if your opponent has a lucky start. So, we definitely want some Counterspells. There's a 2/2, there's a 2/1. That's pretty much it. Like, all of our dudes get +1/+1 till end of turn. One of our dudes get +1/+0 first strike and haste. That could be okay. Just to get a lot of damage out immediately. Demonic Vigor, I think, is probably just the best card there. Just toss it on one of your gigantic creatures and get it back if it ends up dying. So we'll take the Adventurous Impulse at that point. Now we'll take an Unwind. It's just another card that, if you have an Unwind in your hand and they cast anything that draws 2 or more cards, you just immediately snap off the Unwind on it. So we'll play Feral Abomination, and we'll play a Krosan Druid. Krosan Druid's not terrible. It's just gains you 10 life, if you're not using any other kicker costs that turn. So a Jaya Ballard? I think she's actually just useless in this format. I guess she's not. We just play her as discard 3, draw 3? That could actually get there. Ah, but there's Dark Bargain. This is a hard pick. I think Dark Bargain is going to be mildly better than Jaya. Because Jaya, we have to discard stuff to draw cards. But Jaya's mythic, and a Planeswalker, and a card I'd like to have in my collection. And she's not bad. Like, she's easily the second best card in this pack. I do think Dark Bargain is better, but I'm still going to take Jaya, because she's still pretty good. Alright, so here we have a Guardians of Koilos, or a removal spell. I'm going to take the Guardians, because I do have the 1 win condition with them already. So I'm just going to take every Guardians I see at this point. No draw spells, so we can take a Serra Disciple to have another win con with Guardians, or a Blink of an Eye, just to have another one of those. If I take another Blink of an Eye, if I get a Mirari Conjecture, then I could have another win condition with my Diligent Excavator, because Blink of an Eye and Mirari Conjecture goes infinite. Somebody posted that in one of my earlier videos, and I was like, oh yeah. That works as well, because Mirari Conjecture is a saga that when you play the first part of the saga, you return an instant from your grave to your hand. So you can just loop Mirari Conjecture and Blink of an Eye, and that also will cast infinite historic spells. Yeah, I'll take a Blink of an Eye. Cabal Paladin here pretty easily. We are missing out on the removal here, but I think that we're playing just a really uninteractive deck at this point, but that's pretty much any deck in this format. So we could take an Opt to help us draw into our best stuff, or we could take a Gigantic Slinvoda. I think I'm definitely leaning more into the combo type cards here. Take another Blink of an Eye. We don't have a Mirari Conjecture, which is kind of an awkward thing now that we have triple Blink of an Eye. It's a rare card, so it's really not that likely that we could just randomly get one. But that's definitely what we're hoping for. Alright, well, we made the right pick in this pack because we picked the Jaya and wheeled the Dark Bargain, so we got there. We got both the cards in the pack that we wanted anyway, and there's no way Jaya was going to wheel. This pack is not good. We can gain 3 life, do 7 to a flyer, or just have a little creature. I guess we'll take a little goblin boy. We'll take a Homered Explorer here, just because it's good with Garna. And Garna is a card that we're just going to immediately pick up if we ever see it. So, might as well. Also, if we don't combo off, we could try to just, like, base mill our opponent with, like, Homered Explorer and Diligent Excavator. That seems like a pretty bad idea, though, just because anybody who ever sees a Garna in a pack is going to pick it up, and Garna is really good against Mill. These cards are really bad. We're going to have to run something pretty mediocre here. I think I'll take the one that gives haste to a creature. That seems like it'll have slightly more use than the other cards there. So here we have no draw cards. There's a Grun, which Grun can win immediately if you give him haste. So we could potentially draw Grun and Fervent Strike and just kill our opponent turn 1. That's kind of cool. I kind of want to do that because Jaya's Immolating Inferno, unfortunately, is an X mana spell, which means it's not going to be very good. And we don't even have... We have like 1 legend right now. So, I think it's actually just Grun here. Yeah, I would say it's between Grun and Keldon Raider, and Keldon Raider is a quite good card. Because you get a 4/3 on the board, and you get to loot away one of your bad cards. But I'm going to take Grun just for the potential of Grun Fervent Strike. Turn 1 kills. So here... There's a Soul Salvage. That could be pretty good. This is a pretty hard pick, because Eldest Reborn can be really good over the long run, but you don't always get a long run. Urgoros is just a big dude. Soul Salvage will give us some more combo potential. I think I'm going to take... God, I don't know. Probably one of the historic spells, actually, here. So let's take a... Urgoros. I actually don't have, like, a whole lot of creatures. Yeah, I really do not have a lot of large creatures, so I think Urgoros is probably the pick there. Oh, dang. Oh, dang, this pack's really good. There's an In Bolas's Clutches and a Slimefoot. Those are both... super, super strong. I think I'm just going to take Slimefoot, though. I like a smaller Verdant Force. That also drains life from my opponent. That seems pretty good. No draw spells in here. No third Guardian of Koilos. Let's take a Yargle? We could take a Skin Witch. Skin Witch is another one of those cards. Great for turn 1. Just alright any other time. Alright to mediocre. Sometimes they just won't even have a card in their hand. But if they have 1 card in their hand later in the game and it's a counterspell, you at least get to get rid of their counterspell. So, but yeah, it is just really good on turn 1. Yeah, I'll take the Skin Witch here. Now we'll go ahead and take another Opt, I think. We could take another Overseer, or just our first Overseer, but I'm going to take the Opt. We'll take the Cabal Paladin. We now have double Cabal Paladin and a Diligent Excavator, and we have 1 more pack where we could potentially get a Guardians of Koilos, but we only have 2, so... Like, we don't really want the 3rd Cabal Paladin unless we get a 3rd Guardians of Koilos, so I'm going to go ahead and take a Guy's Blessing. It is definitely one of the best cantrips. And now... I don't think I want anything out of this pack. I guess we could take an Excavation Elephant, and it can get a Guardian of Koilos back from our grave. It's also just the biggest creature, so... It's the pick. Let's take the 4/5 Hexproof. At this point, we're just taking, like, random big dorks. And now, we could take Memorial of Unity. It's like a slower version of, like, Board the Weatherlight, kind of. I guess we are trying to get very specific cards with this deck. Alright, so I get to cut 2 cards out of here. So let's go with probably Arbor Armament. Goblin War Chief. And this is our deck. Yeah, seems fine to me. This deck, we did not do super hot on the lottery here. Just in terms of the draw spell lottery, but I think the deck overall could be okay. We have a little bit of draw spells. We've got the combo, and we have potential for turn 1 kills with a Grun if we're really lucky. Oh, wow. If we're really lucky like this, then this whole event could go really well. But we'll find out here. I'm going to Divination first. Because if they have a counter spell, we want them to counter the smaller one first. So, could target them with Weight of Memory and hope they don't have Garna, and I think I'm going to do that. That could blow up in my face. Hey, we milled their Garna. Well, that's pretty good. Unless they have a second Garna, then it's like, uh-oh. Let's mill them some more. Ooh, their deck is sick. Wow. We might just lose this game. Look at this deck. Joyra, whenever you cast a Historic Spell, draw a card. With all this, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 7 cards are Historic Spells. They are off to, like, very good start in terms of how good their deck looks. But I also have milled all those cards, so maybe that'll help me out. And those are like all of their good cards. Let's actually kick this and draw one more card, see if we can do anything else here. Fervent Strike, unfortunately did not draw Grun, so Fervent Strike does not really get there. So I don't think I want to use Demonic Vigor either. I think I just want to pass. So we've got some dudes out. That's basically it. If their hand is half as good as what's in their grave, then I'm pretty dead here. Oh yeah. Yep, those are better than mine. Phyrexian Scriptures. Another historic mythic rare? Jesus. One's got like historic rares and mythics for days. So Phyrexian Scriptures, if you don't know what it does, the first part, you put a counter on your dude, that dude is now an artifact creature. The second part, destroy all non-artifact creatures. So they're going to be left with a Thorn Elemental, and that's the only thing that's going to be on the board. So I guess I can Demonic Vigor my Homered Explorer to mill them some more if I really want to. Like, I can just throw a Demonic Vigor on whichever one of these creatures I want to still have. But I feel like all of these creatures are just enough smaller than the Thorn Elemental, it's not going to matter. I think my game plan is entirely just Feral Abomination with First Strike here. So we'll go ahead and attack with everybody, because all my creatures are going to die in their next pre-combat main phase anyway. So we're about to take 8 minimum. What is the third part? Exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards. Okay. That's not great. So now if I draw Gitu Chronicler, I can't really do anything with it. A Feral Abomination. Alright, so we need another creature to deal with that one. Could also just throw a Demonic Vigor onto my Feral Abomination. I guess because of the First Strike, I'll be dealing with Thorn Elemental without losing Feral Abomination, so worst case scenario, I'll just have Feral Abomination slowly trade for both of their creatures. Luckily, I don't have to take 8 from Thorn Elemental this turn if my Feral Abomination survives, because I get to kill it during the first strike damage step before it's allowed to deal its combat damage to my face. Opponent goes Sapperling Migration. That's pretty threatening. So if I block there now, I take 9. Well, it is the best I've got. Now they exile all my cards. Looks like they're going straight to combat here. We're going to block there, and theoretically, the way this is supposed to work is I should be able to first strike damage that before it deals anything. Alright. So that worked, but I am down to 3 now, so... I don't think I have any cards I can draw that can get me out of this. Dark Bargain's about as close as it gets. Just because I get to draw more cards and see if there's something. But I also go to 1 now, so... Probably not. Yeah... I do not have my second Guardians of Koilos, so this does not do it. That is game. Let's just... I guess we'll pick these two. Does not really matter. I am dead in the air. Alright. Well, that's about how I expected that to go. Opponent definitely had a very sweet-looking deck. They pulled some very good cards in their packs and drafted them well and synergistically. I'm kind of sad that, like, if I was going to lose that game anyway, I would have much rather seen them just go off. Like, if I hadn't have milled them, they just go, like, Dwara into Garna, into just more historic creatures. I would probably just die on turn 1 to a bunch of hasting historic creatures, and that would have been pretty cool. So, we have the turtle, and that's what we got. Defensive turtle is here. Wow, that's a bold counter. That is a bold counter. Because if my hand were the turtle and a Weight of Consciousness, I would just I would cast the turtle first to try to get them to counter it. Like earlier when I cast the Divination before the Weight of Consciousness. But, I mean, if they're in a situation where all they really have is a 3-2, then that is a fair counter. They could also have, like, 1 or 2 unwinds in their hand for stuff like Divination and Weight of Consciousness. Arcane Flight on the Journey Mage. Well, I guess I'll get a tiny bit of value from this Blink of an Eye. Because I'll actually stop a little bit of damage with it and destroy their Arcane Flight. Which is cool. Dalkin Arcanist. Alright. Academy Journey Mage. So this was probably like their 39th or 40th card in there. Like they just have to put something in there instead of basic lands. Armored Explorers to draw. And a Guardian of Koilos. Alright, well, it's a 4-4. I have a 4-4 and a 3-3, so my stuff's bigger than theirs. So... Wow, that was a good mill. We just milled 2 7/6s in a row. Those would have both been really good draws. because then they would have the biggest creature on board by far, whereas now, instead, I have the biggest creatures by a little bit. Okay, I no longer have the biggest creatures. I actually no longer have any creatures on the board. Ooh, he doesn't bounce... Oh, he does not bounce Merfolk. That's pretty cool. Just bounces everything that is not in the sea. So they get a free point of damage here. I guess they're debating whether or not to cast the Academy Journey Mage without bouncing a dude, or just save it to bounce a dude during their turn, so they get some more damage in. It looks like they choose to save it till their turn. We do have a Wizard's Retort now, so I'll probably just counter him. We milled their Garna, so that's good. Everybody with their Garnas. I don't have a Garna. I have a Jaya, though, so that's pretty good. Jaya would be a sick draw. Demonic Vigor. I don't think I have anything in here that's just going to straight up kill that creature, so I don't know how worried I am about that. I'm probably not that worried, but I'm still going to unwind it. Because I guess if I draw a Feral Abomination, that's really what I'm hoping for here. Because then I get to play my Death Toucher and give it first strike, kill off the Slinvoda, and then I'm just in a great spot. Whereas if they had Demonic Vigor, I would still just not be in that good of a spot, if that was the draw. I could also, like, triple block here, block with the 4/4, the 3/3, and cast Fervent Strike, but then I have absolutely no cards anymore. That seems pretty bad. Slimefoot, you are beautiful. Thank you. You're just perfect right now. Now I just have infinite chump blockers. So we get in there with the other guys. Alright. We have turned this game around, but they could just as easily turn it around again. Like so. Pretty sure they top decked that, because, I mean, they could have had it the whole time, but they would have probably just pressed the advantage. Tried to kill me, like, really fast by also having a 4/4. But maybe they were just waiting for me to play a good creature. Or a really good creature. A 4/4 is fine. So our only hope now is to draw the second Guardians of Koilos. I think this is just another event where my love of combos and combo decks and stuff has kind of screwed me a little bit. Because if it weren't for that, I'd still have a really mediocre deck. I think the best I could probably do with the amount of draw spells that I got, which I did pick up every single draw spell that I saw. I did give up on one Dark Bargain to pick up a Jaya instead, but it wheeled anyway. So I literally have as many draw spells as I could possibly have from my draft pool. So I think that my deck would still be mediocre, because I also never saw a Garna, but it would be slightly better if all of these random things like Diligent Excavators were just 7/6s, you know? So, this deck could have definitely been a little bit better. Just turn all my 1/3s and my Guardians of Koilos into random 4/5 hexproofs or 7/6s or something like that, but even then, I think I'd still be losing these games that I'm losing. Here's an Urgoros, the empty one. Doesn't really matter. We could give it haste and then they just block with the Cloud Reader Sphinx. I think we're just still saving Fervent Strike in case we draw the Death Toucher. I think we're just trumping until we're dead, which I think is in 2 turns. I don't think we're dead immediately here, but their next turn will be dead. Exile Urgoros. Okay. So if I just cast Fervent Strike, they would have just exiled it anyway. 2 for 1 me there. Yeah, straight up the only thing that can save us is our other guardians. Let's see. If I block there, I take 7. Pretty sure I'm dead in 2 turns no matter what. If I block these saplings, they just damage me anyway, and my opponent gains life. I guess I don't really care if they gain life, so I should block them because then they damage me 1 time instead of getting to damage me again next turn after they survive this combat. Oh, why did I do that? I hope that I draw Guardians of Koilos just to disrespect me there, because the blocks I made were to keep my biggest creatures. That's not what I need right now. I had just been saying specifically I need to keep Diligent Excavator and a Guardians of Koilos, so I should have blocked a Sapling with a Diligent Excavator and Trump blocked Slinvoda with Homered Explorer. So if I were to draw Guardians of Koilos here, you know, playing to your outs, then I could win. But now if I draw one, I can't even win. Didn't matter, had a Cabal Paladin, but I really should have Trump blocked with Homered Explorer instead of Diligent Excavator there. Regardless, the game was a loss. So, let's head into the 3rd game here and see if we get the 0-3. Let's actually open the vault here. Let's get a little bit of good news with all this bad news. Look at this. We got to open the vault. Look at all this. Look, I got some good stuff. Alright. let's head into the 3rd and probably final match here. See if the mediocre deck can get there. Get at least 1 win off. That would be sweet. Alright. Divination and an Opt. Yep. Demonic Vigor doesn't really do anything, but these other cards are a great start. So they start with just a Fire Elemental, so I'm going to go ahead and Opt here. Guardians of Koilos, I think I do want that. Gaia's Blessing? That's pretty sweet. Gaia's Blessing, target me, shuffle in Divination and Opt, because those are both great draws. We draw Homered Explorer. Could mill myself and try to return another artifact, so if I mill into my Guardians of Koilos, that's sweet. Oops, target me, not my library. We did not hit our Guardians of Koilos, we actually hit 2 of our biggest creatures, so that's unfortunate. 3 of our biggest creatures, Feral Abomination and Grunt and Coldwater Snapper. Alright, well, we play Guardians. We play the little bird. I actually played that in the wrong order. I should have played the bird first for the scry. I am just misplaying all over the place here. Just losing out on the small incremental advantages. Wow! Pierce the Sky, my 1/1 bird? What did he ever do? Look at him! He's so adorable. Just holding a little key there. Wizard's Retort? That's a pretty good draw. I guess we're attacking with Guardians. We're just not on the combo game plan because we have 2 copies of Guardians in here. Let's not like super live the dream. I guess I could Demonic Vigor Guardians and then and then I could still be on the combo game plan. But I should probably just Demonic Vigor my Homeward Explorer so I can attack with 2 creatures. Well, now they know what's in my hand, at the very least off of the Divest. Deep Freeze my Guardians. That's actually fine. Because then I still have the Guardians game plan. Yeah, in addition to its other colors and types. So if I draw my second Guardian, I can still just bounce this and get the Deep Freeze out of there. I can also just Blink of an Eye it, so that was a pretty good draw. We're going to do that. That was a pretty sick top deck. Not gonna lie. Ooh, into Divination. To play it again. Befuddle the Fire Elemental. To get some damage in. Yeah, here we go. We get 3 damage in. And now we have a flyer. I think I just put Demonic Vigor on the flyer, actually. So if they do get a removal, I still have a flying threat. Pierce the Sky. I'm going to counter that. And hopefully they don't draw something great. I'm not going to play Krosan Druid here because we can gain 10 life off of it next turn, but we can't do that this turn. Maybe it is correct to play it, because then they take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually, yeah. That would make them dead on board if they draw absolutely nothing. Yet another micro misplay. Of just, like, losing out on the tiny value. Is just gonna lose out on the game, possibly. That 2 damage could have cost me the game, depending on what they have in their hand here. Yeah, I could have just killed them this turn, with 2 more power on the board. But we've got like Dark Bargain and a bunch more dudes. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and mill them. Mill a Divination. Was a pretty nice mill. Gain 10, and I'll do Dark Bargain shenanigans next turn. I feel like this board is more than sufficient to get there. We can just have a Dark Bargain for if something crazy happens, then we can like reset up with Dark Bargain. So let's see what's in their hand. Looks like nothing. Looks like nothing. Alright, well, we got 1 win. So, that's pretty good. Definitely better than the 0-3 destruction that we were setting ourselves up for. So I'm happy. I mean, this format is really, like, just for fun, just because it's, like, so crazy random. Alright, this is a start for sure. Let's Dark Bargain. I should have cast Feral Abomination first in case they had a counter spell that they wanted to use on a Feral Abomination for some reason. I should not have picked Wizard's Retort, because now I can't Flame of Keld. I guess I actually do prefer just having Wizard's Retort to counter if they have a Weight of Memory, and we just wait on the Flame of Keld. Oh, I'm gonna allow that because I have a 5/5 Death Touch. They could just be trying to sneak in a draw spell, a 2/2 flyer. I'm not super worried about 2/2 lifelinker. I guess they're just setting up a big old board. Alright, well, Demonic Vigor on Feral Abomination seems pretty good. Yeah, Flame of Keld plus Counterspell's really awkward. I was really hoping that they were going to try to cast a draw spell there, so I could just get the Counterspell out of my hand. But now I might just lose the value at this point. Just drop Demonic Vigor and just cast the Flame of Keld, let me lose my value. Guess we're just gumming up the ground. Yeah, we'll lose the Wizard's Retort. We might just die because of this, but I have to draw some way out of the flyer. I was really expecting them to be trying to sneak in something really good, but it's like they played their best one first and then their weaker ones after that. That was the exact opposite of what I was expecting. And so the counter targets just kept getting worse and worse. That's a dub. Oh boy. That is a 9/8 first strike now. That's a pretty big deal. So we can block like that, and we just bounce Feral Abomination back to my hand. And we can't kill the worm unless we get a Fervent Strike. Blink of an Eye would be good. We'll just have to see what we draw this turn. It's like we drew a Feral Abomination. Alright, drawn 3 cards here. Crozen Druid's nice. Gain 10 and... Ooh, and there's the Fervent Strike and a Jaya. But I can't discard anything this turn because I need to play all these cards. That's awkward. That's honestly pretty awkward. But these are all good cards, so I think we're fine. I mean, I could play Jaya and just discard Crozen Druid, but I think I'd rather gain 10 and have a chump blocker. But I guess I am just blocking Primordial Worm with Feral Abomination, but I still think gaining 10 is nice for against the Phoenix. So Jaya starts at 5, she'll be at 6 counters, so if I play her and plus her, they can hit her down to 4, and then they've damaged her instead of me, which is probably good. I'm just trying to decide if I want to play her now or next turn, because if I play her now, they could hit her for a little bit. The thing is, do I want to give them that option? Because how likely am I to hit the 8? I really don't think I will. And even if I hit the 8, like, a lot of my instances sorceries I just can't cast, like Wizard's Retort, but I could cast Dark Bargain. I think I'm just going to play her now and have her soak up a little bit of damage from the Warcry Phoenix. So, like, yeah, if they want to...
is what defines a master.
If they want to damage her instead of me, I'm actually just fine with that. And we'll go ahead and attack with him. Attack with the Guardians. He's not going to end up blocking. I have a chump blocker and a blocker that I want to actually kill the worm with, so... I think the odds of the 4/4 running into combat here are very low. Cabal Paladin is pretty good. depending on how much historic stuff they have. I guess we haven't seen a single historic spell, so Cabal Paladin could just be a 4-2 here, which is not that scary. Oh, they're just going all out on Jaya? Fair enough. We're gonna go ahead and kill Primordial Worm. We'll trade a Feral Abomination and a Fervent Strike for a Primordial Worm and a dub. Do they have a counterspell? That would be a sick play if they still had an Unwind and they just decided not to unwind the Jaya, because they're like, does Jaya really do anything? But based on the attacks they were making there, they are actually scared of Jaya. Alright, unfortunately, I don't have any red sources that are going to deal any damage here, so... Kinda want to just discard this Unwind. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. This could blow up in my face, but I'm doing it. Judge Sentinel? Judge Sentinel's actually not good on this board. I think we're just sitting and waiting to draw something better than my opponent, which Jaya makes very possible. Feral Abomination. So I'm just sitting here because I don't want to lose the Guardians of Koilos to trade with Cabal Paladin. So I don't want to block the Cabal Paladin with Guardians of Koilos, but I also don't want to attack with it when they have a 4-2 to block. We're just going to take the better trade there.
I've had worse.
Befuddle. Well, we'll use the Befuddle now because it's the same as just discarding it. Grun. I think we play Grun, discard Judge Sentinel. So let's discard Judge Sentinel first, just to see if anything gets changed here.
Out with the trash, in with the firebolts.
Divination. Blink of an Eye and a Cabal Paladin? I'm liking where this is going. So I can Blink of an Eye on Guardians of Koilos to return Jaya later. Just to make sure that she is good. And that would also be 4 more damage from Cabal Paladin. Could also just Blink of an Eye and Feral Abomination to get in with Grun one turn, and that could just win. Possibly. If they do the same kind of attack where they attack with the Phoenix and save only 1 creature to block, I could just kill them for it. Should be very nice. But they probably just draw a creature. It's their own Grun. I like it. Please attack with both. That would be so good. Of course, it all depends what's in their hand. It could be a counterspell. They are thinking a lot. Well, I think we just make the plays and hope that it's not just a counterspell in their hand. I kind of want to save Jaya here still so we can draw another card next turn. I am losing a Cabal Paladin to do it, which is a little unfortunate. If we top deck Guardians of Koilos, we don't just immediately win anymore, but we have another way that we're trying to immediately win, and that's Blink of an Eye with Grun. Blink of an eye your Grun to hit you with my Grun. This is the plan. No idea what's in my opponent's hand, but it's definitely causing them to think. Otherwise, they're just like going to the restroom in the middle of a game or something. I don't know. I don't know their life.
Whatever happened to respect for the elderly?
What do we got? Oh, wow. The disrespect. Well, let's see if this resolves. It does resolve. I'm just gonna attack them. Man, it looks like we just had everything. We also just drew a weight of memory. Nice, it worked. I don't know what was in their hand. And the world may never know, because there's no reveal hand option on Magic Arena like there is on Magic Online. Well, things are starting to turn around here. 2 wins is definitely better than I thought we were going to do after the second loss. After the second loss, I was really just defeated. I was like, nah, this deck's just going to lose. But, looks like we might even be able to make it up to average wins, 3-3. Which would be super nice for this deck. I don't feel like this deck deserves that. This hand's so bad. It's so bad. I have to imagine a 2-card hand could be much better. And this 2-card hand is much better. This 2-card hand is infinitely better. Now that there's a Gitsu Chronicler on top. Oh, opponent goes Garna Grun. Garna, Curator's Ward. Chainer's Torment. Okay. I was like, uh-oh. Am I dead? Alright. Let's Weight of Memory them. The Garna's already on the board. Ooh, we got our own Grun. If I draw the Fervent thing that gives haste, then Blink of an Eye and kill them, that would be really sick. So we're going to kick this, get Weight of Memory back. Mill them again. Nothing that gives haste yet. Make their guy smaller. Oh, he's got hexproof, so we can't Blink of an Eye kill him. But we do have like a really good field, so we're probably fine. Unfortunately now, we also just couldn't kill him with Grunna anyway, since we paid the mana for Gitsu Chronicler. Yeah, we'll just play all our dudes. We're actually just going to play a regular Grun here. The field is assembled. Tolarian Scholar from opponents. So, I think I'm just gonna end up blink of an eyeing their token, their horror token they get from Chainer's Torment, because that just seems like straight up value. We'll take a turtle. I think we just attack with Grun. They probably actually just block with Garna and draw a bunch of cards that way, though. This Garna's just going to be here forever. I can't really do anything about the Curator's Word. I just have to let them draw their cards. hope they don't draw into something crazy. Alright, they're down to 12. You do have a 12-12, but probably just kill them. They have 2 blockers, so they block my 5-5 and my 3-4. They block my 5-5 and 4-5 and take 3-6. Yeah, they were definitely dead. They could have, like, very easily just drawn, like, Divination or Weight of Memory or anything like that, as we always say in this format, so it was not guaranteed, but would have had to draw pretty well there to survive. So, this deck's working. At least it did in that game. I was really expecting Garna Grun immediately there, just super dead. This hand's okay. We have a decently sized dude, and we're drawing 1 card to see if we get something better. Let's, I guess we care least if they counter the Assistant. We actually care most if they counter Feral Abomination, so we'll play Gaia's Blessing now. Excavation Elephant. Okay, 3-5. And 5-5. And now my opponent has free reign to do whatever they want. So there's the Dark Bargain. Torgar me down to 10. Slinvoda. Whoa! Opponent's got bigger dudes than me, that's for sure. We could get really lucky here. There's a Slimefoot. It's pretty lucky. Cabal Paladin. So if we draw into double Koilos off of the second Weight of Memory, that would be beautiful. It's not like super likely, but we'll see. Drew into 0 of them. But we have our own big dude. Now we have a Slimefoot. Adventurous Impulse. Kind of do like that on top. Because then I'm just selecting out of the top 4, basically. And we don't really need a 1-3 on this board, so we'll save it in case they don't discard a card. Or in case they don't play a card next turn. Alright. I would say that the boards are pretty even. I do have a 1-1 flyer, so that could just win. Alright. They are just going at it. They're gonna have that thing that gives like first strike to their whole crew. And it's just gonna be a sad day. Because otherwise, I think this is actually just a bad attack. Like, this is just very in my favor. Okay. I suppose that they just wanted to clear my board off a little bit. I think I would actually just want the hexproof for here. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. Kicked Grun's a 10-10? That's okay. I have saplings. I was just thinking of Grun as as a 5/5. No, I would rather just have the kicked Grun, and then they can't attack me with Slinvoda anymore. Then we just start attacking with a lone Grun instead of the assistant. But I think the Saplings will still get there. Let's see what's in their hand. If it's a counterspell, we get to get rid of it. It is a counterspell. Nice. Well, soon enough they'll just be dead on board. So they block 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, they block these 3. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're not quite dead, but very soon now. Nature's Spiral on Mirari Conjecture. Uh-oh. This could be really bad. What, they get a Dark Bargain back? Oh, and a Lingering Phantom? It's pretty good. Next turn they get a Divination back. Mirari Conjecture is very good in this format. Fortunately, I have not seen one in my drafts. Draw some cards, mill some random garbage. Looks like something that gives Menace, which is not super good right now because I have a gigantic field. In terms of sheer numbers of creatures. Lingering Phantom. That's pretty good. If Slinvoda dies, they just get to bounce everything again. Blink of an eye. So I can make sure they only have 3 blockers, which means they block there, there, there. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 damage off still. I think I have to just cast this Blink of an Eye and hope to draw a Historic spell, because then they would just be dead. Oh, they just have a counterspell? They let it resolve. So, Flame of Keld? That's a Historic spell. I think that means we got him. We will find out if I miscalculated here or not. But I think did it. We'll have to see what their second card is. If it's just like a fog instead of a counter, then we just got destroyed. Oh no, it's another blocker! I think that gets them there. They're gonna be at like 1 life and then we're just gonna die! Oh my god, no. Well, that's pretty bad news, Bears. Oh, Jesus. That was sick. That was a clutch Garna. Jeez. Yeah, it doesn't matter what they get. I'm just gonna scoop. They literally don't have to cast anything. I'm just dead on board. Well, I mean, I do think that the way I played was still the best play there. Because they immediately go into, like, just now they have a sorcery back, and just even more value. I guess actually I could probably just mill them out, depending on what's in their deck. If I just sat there and did nothing all game, could maybe just mill them out. Because I think the best thing that they were really doing with Mirari Conjecture in that deck was just copying like draw spells, which is just going to get them killed. If they did have removal spells in the deck, I guess we'll never know. Yeah, if they had like removal spells in there, then I was just definitely going to die the second they drew anything to remove Slimefoot. But if they did not have something to remove Slimefoot in the rest of their deck, then could have maybe milled them out. So, if I expected them to have counter spells, then the way I played, or removal spells, then the way I played was still probably the best. Ooh, we got another Bedevil. Nice. Well, at least we got some good cards out of it. We did go 3-3, that is respectable. And we got some standard playable stuff. Jaya I wouldn't really say, but Bedevil could be pretty good. If there ever ends up being a control deck with red and black in it. Well, yeah, thank you all for watching. Another Omniscience draft here on the channel. Sorry that it wasn't as explosive, like, as usual. I don't think I drafted particularly well. As I said before, I was drafting a little bit too heavily towards the combo side. I should have just taken some more large creatures. But I drafted every draw spell you can, and that's the most important part, to be honest. I also played pretty poorly in a lot of the games. It didn't really end up mattering for the most part. But there were a lot of instances where like I could have killed them a turn earlier and stuff like that. So, just a pretty loose event as a whole there. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time, where hopefully I get my shit together and play a little bit better. See you then.